other world ranking finals, albeit without winning one, because like himself, the people who beat him have been playing exceptionally well.
Okay, thank you. First frame, Judd Trump to break.
But by consistently reaching the latter stages of tournaments, Trump stands third in the world rankings, with only Mark Selby and Stuart Bingham in front of him. It was a wonderful and unexpected performance from Mark King to win the Northern Ireland Open back in November. The long red fails from him, however.
One.
Yes, we have 4 left-handed players in action tonight, 4 right-handed players this afternoon. And this is as gifted a player that we've got in the game these days, Judd Trump.
Intended to go into the bunch there.
5.
Mentioned Judd's form earlier on. He's made 10 centuries inside the last week, 6 of them in the winners group of the Championship League last Wednesday and Thursday. Knocked in 4 more over in Gibraltar. There's a lot of century breaks in not that many matches.
Lost 4-2 to Sean Murphy in the Gibraltar Open final.
Well, that's sheer bad luck. He didn't really get into the bunch, obviously.
King 6.
I guess it would have been even unluckier had he finished on a red, having knocked the pink in. So it all ends there.
Touching ball.
He's got a touching ball here as Mark King. So he'll be playing right away from the bunch. I agree with you. It was wonderful, actually, when Mark King won in Belfast. It was I was commentating on that final with David Hendon. It was one of the most enjoyable matches I think I've ever commentated on, just to see such a great story. His family were there, and he got the fairy tale win, which he deserved.
Yes, the £70,000 first prize came in very handy. He was starting to get perilously near to running on empty financially.
I think, as Stephen Hendry mentioned, he's got to get stuck in early on, Mark King, and he has the potential to frustrate the player. I mean, obviously he's better than that alone. Otherwise he wouldn't have won a ranking event, but he has got, if he can get his teeth into this match, he could win it. If he doesn't early on, he could be a runaway for someone like Trump, the form he's been in.
Trump's flick off the brown has ruled out King attempting red to right corner.
Now, I'm down the line of the shot though, Clive, and he has got reds that he can reach, but as far as the one he's playing, I think it's going to be very thin, this contact, so it doesn't crash into the other red to the left of it. Yeah, that was the problem. It was mighty thin. He's not settled in yet. He's had 2 or 3 shots and he's not quite got to grips with conditions. I think he might have played the red by the black, but either way it was a very thin edge that he was available to him.
Well,
I mean, we heard from Mark King. He said never been to Llandudno before. He's never played here. There's been an event here for a couple of years previously, of course. It was the World Grand Prix. He He's someone that's been around the world playing snooker, so this is all new to him. It feels a special event, and he probably knows he's going to have to raise his game if he's going to beat Judd Trump.
7.
I think we've seen the tour go up a notch in standard this week. These are the banging form players of the tour.
8.
They've all come together for a big prize.
£125,000 for the winner.
14. 15.
All the way down to £10,000 for first round losers, who have, however, qualified to play in this 16-man event.
Yes, which means that should any player lose in the first round, they'll still get the 10,000 points, which of course doesn't happen when you lose in the first
21.
round of anything else.
22.
But as Clive said, that they're here on merit, and real possibility of going right up the rankings, whoever you are. Red goes
28.
down through the middle here. Just feel that Judd is very sharp at the moment. He could have done with that win in Gibraltar.
29.
I mean, it wasn't the biggest event by some margin, certainly in money, which is what you go by now, actually. In anything but the big three, I believe. Playing the shot right-handed. But Judd could have got himself into the Champion of Champions having won it, because he's got no titles to his name in relation to that.
No, Champion of
35.
Champions qualification depends on winning a tournament after last November's Champion of Champions. So the European Masters title, as I was mentioning at the top of the show, doesn't count.
Could have got into it by winning the
56.
Championship League, which he's won twice before. Didn't do that either. John Higgins won it. And John Higgins, of course, is already in the big Ricoh Arena event next November, because he won it last year. The other thing is just very prestigious, I think, this week. It's just a tournament that any player would dearly love to win.
42.
That's a lovely shot. I mean, he knew he was getting the cannon, but he judged it absolutely perfectly. And he's got the ability to win frames very quickly. He's not a million miles away from winning this one, and we've been going less than 8 minutes. He could play to cannon the red
49.
away from the black, but he doesn't need to. So he's playing the other red. So just get over
50.
the line. But he's razor sharp, I feel. Two ways it can go at this point in the season. You can be a bit jaded because of all
56.
the travel, or you can be very, very much at the top of your game. That was the cannon I mentioned earlier,
57.
but he's played it. Interestingly, while mathematically he's not over the line. I'm a little surprised. That was a risk. As it stands, Mark King could clear up and win if he misses his pink. Not now, though.
$63. Judd Trump, 63.
To go 63 in front with only 59 on the table. It's only one snooker, and also King needs a few minutes to settle, so good idea to play this frame out.
Well,
yes, and the other thing about it, Clive, he's not known for making things easy for his opponents, and why should he? He plays a very tough match game. There's no reason why you should concede and let your opponent whiz on to the next frame.
8.
But even then, as you also rightly say, this frame is not over yet. One snooker is gettable.
9.
I suspect he'll play on the red up the table here rather than the one down along the cushion. Oh no, he has gone that way. I thought he would save that till last. I thought it would be easy to get snookers off of.
Yes, I would have thought that as well.
16.
He doesn't want to be straight on this, and I'm looking at the angle, and he is straight. He can just screw it back, potentially for the black into the same pocket.
17.
A little surprised he went this way.
He's got to be careful not to miss this black.
Mark King. 17.
So, frame over. In terms of, we know who's going to win it.
Well,
it's a very big spell in Judd Trump's career. We know he's been called a future world champion since about 14 or even younger. But he might have to win it this year just to get that out of the way.
On the first
He's
frame.
won the first frame anyway.
Yes, with a 63 break as his chief contribution, Judd Trump leads Mark King by a frame to 0.